Okay, guys. Thanks for joining everyone. So these are 266 batch, which we will be going with Oracle SQL and PLSQL training. So so it will be first 5 days of the session will be a demo session, and then thereafter we will be going with the practical thing, which is an main sessions that we will be going with the classes for starting from every concept. Okay, so these 5 days we let's have some interactive discussions, like whatever the doubts that you have, please go ahead and ask. Like if you want to know something within Oracle SQL and PL SQL, please go ahead, raise your hand. If you are um, comfortable in pinging over the chat, go ahead and ping over the chat. Okay, so okay, I can see everyone is able to unmute. Along with that, I hope everyone have got access to ping over the chat. Okay, please recheck and confirm. If anyone have missed, I will be providing access, guys. Okay, so this is 266th batch that we are going with Oracle SQL and PL SQL. And if you have any questions regarding this in within this particular training, you can drop an email to support@logiclabstech.com. This is an email ID. Okay. And my name is Manjunath. Let's get introduction. Let me go through my uh, introduction first. Okay, my name is Manjunath. I am Oracle and SQL and PL SQL trainer. So before, like currently, I am working in an organization, MNC. So I have an experience of 8+ years. Okay. So due to passion, I have started training, and I am providing training to all the freshers within Oracle SQL and PL SQL. So I started as a fresher. Currently, I am working in an Oracle Cloud. Okay. I started my journey as a developer, SQL developer, PL SQL developer, and then I have worked with Oracle ERPs, and currently I'm an Oracle Cloud developer. So this is my journey that I have went through, and this is my experience that I carry forward. Okay, so due to passion, I have started giving training to the freshers and the entry level to anyone. Okay, so currently it is a 266th batch. So after this first 5 sessions, let's get with just a demo sessions, like which is nothing but a demo in sense of like we will be going through the concepts itself, but only on the high level. We will not be digging in much more in detail. Okay, which we will be going on the high level, so that you will get an idea what exactly SQL and PL SQL is all about. Okay, so so it will be like 8 p.m. IST, the normal timings that we go. Like we will be going through 4 weeks of training. So if needed, we can extend it. Okay. So I'm not like I'm sure that within 4 weeks of time we it is not that easy to cope up with everyone. Make sure that everyone understand the concepts and complete it within 4 weeks of time. We will be extending it, okay, based on the understandable levels of the students who have enrolled. Okay, so you can reach out like within this particular training, within this Oracle SQL and PL SQL training. If you have any kind of questions, or if you want to know anything, or if you have any kind of information that you want to know, you can reach out to any of these. You have option to reach out to this particular three contact details. Like you can reach out over the direct contact numbers, or you can drop an email to support@logiclabstech.com. Okay, so uh, and also like there is no wait. As soon as you reach out to them, there will be a solution that will be provided. Okay, so you don't have to wait for one day of time after dropping an email kind of thing. Okay, as soon as you drop an email, there will be a solution that will be provided, or else the some of the admin team will be reaching you as soon as your question has been reached. Okay, so as said, like this will be a first 5 days will be a demo session where we will be giving on the high level what exactly SQL and PL SQL is all about, and you can reach out to any of these contact numbers. Please take a screenshot of this. So it will be you can take a screenshot, or you can take a pic of this. Okay, And also, I will be dropping a link where you can join or to the WhatsApp group. I'll be pinging it to everyone over the chat. Please keep it. Please copy paste it somewhere. So this is an WhatsApp group where you can reach out, like even like if you want to get any kind of updates, you can get any kind of updates, like regarding the sessions or regarding to the navigation, like if where you want to see the recordings, or if where you have to download the documents regarding the related to the uh, course, what exactly the course content, any kind of information you can get from this particular chat, from this particular WhatsApp group. Okay. And also we have a kind of like we have um, other social media platforms where you can get a lot of information about Logic Lab for this particular uh, Logic Lab Technologies Institute. Like regarding, you can reach out to the website, or you can reach out to the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever. Okay, I will be sharing this document along with this links post this session. Okay, you can uh, get it, like you can either you can take a screenshot now, or later point, you however you will be getting these documents. Okay, so this is the introduction. So about me, along with the institute, and training, along with the timings of the batch. Okay, so let's get actually like what exactly this course is all about, and what we will be learning within this particular sessions. Okay, so before we start, like if anyone has any doubts, or if you want to know anything, or if you have come across to get some information related to anything, please go ahead and ask, guys.
Hello, sir.
Yep, please go ahead.
Yeah. When the lecture will be live, do we get recordings as well for the
Yes, the
lecture?
recordings will be provided.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yeah.
at the end of the session, right?
Yes, at the end of the session, we will be sharing, like even the demo sessions also, you can have a track. Okay, it will be
Okay.
uploaded
Yeah,
over the
because my
YouTube.
time zone is a bit different. So
Hmm.
every day it won't be possible that I can join this session. So that's
Hmm.
the reason I'm asking.
Got it. No, not an issue. Like you can, uh, once you enroll, right? We will be
Yeah.
giving an specialized link where you can get all the recordings, and along with that all the documents also. So every concept, whatever we go through, the document will be uploaded.
All
You
right.
can
No worries. Yeah.
download, you can practice whatever the concept that we go through will be uploaded as a document. You can download it. Okay.
All right. No
And
worries. Thank you, sir.
anyone apart from this, anyone wants to know something? Okay, guys, let's get into the topic. Like, anyone able to see my screen? Uh, the one that I am switching to. Okay, let's get started, guys. So this course is entirely based on Oracle SQL and PLSQL. First, we will be going through what exactly Oracle SQL is, and what are the concepts that we have within Oracle SQL. Then thereafter, we will be switching over to Oracle PL/SQL, so which is an advanced version of SQL. Okay, where we will be writing our logics based on the business requirements within PL/SQL. So before getting into PL/SQL, let's learn what exactly the SQL is, what exactly the SQL helps us, and how it will be getting used. So let's get into the introduction of Oracle SQL. So Oracle has been developed. It was developed by Larry Ellison in 1977, and it started with a version of 8 to the public. Okay, to the limelight, like I can say, into the light. It came with a version of 8. So what happened before this eighth version is that was it was into R&D, research and development. So the Larry Ellison, who started writing the coding related to SQL, the database, I can say. Okay, it went on with multiple versions of developments. Like till eighth version, it was under research itself. Okay, so once it was successful with all the consider parameters, whatever what exactly the software is designed for, once they come across, when they come across with the confidence that this software is pretty good and this can be released into the market, to anyone can go ahead and use it. So that is what the version of 8 has been released into the market. So so even if you come across with any of the version, like every version has their its own developments, right? So even in Oracle, so initial 7 versions were into research and developments. Okay, so after research and developments, eighth version has been released into the market. So from 8th on, it went on. Currently, like we are in 22C, which is nothing but a cloud version of database. So 22, 23C. Okay. So out of which a prominent ones, I can say prominent ones of database is 10G and 11G. Okay, these are the prominent ones I can say, which is most successful ones I can say. Now currently 22 19C and 22C, which are in most prominent I can say in the cloud version. Okay, there is no much difference between the versions, but only thing is that every version that we come across with the database, right? So every database, like every version that it went on, has went with an better I can say simplified versions has been released into the market. So when we see the 8th version and 22C version, it's much more simplified. So I can say that it is a developer friendly now. The database is much more developer friendly. So we don't have that complicated like what we have in the initial version. Okay, so every version has been went with an like significant changes I can say. Okay, and simplified changes. Along with that, I can say that it is a much more simplified version. Okay, so this is about SQL, like what exactly, how exactly who has been the uh, person behind this SQL development and what exactly the versions and all. Okay, now let's get into what exactly SQL does. So what is this SQL? What SQL stands for? Let's see first. Now let's say um, earlier, let's say we were into the like let's say SQL is nothing but a structured query language where we call that as a database, right? It is nothing but a database. So what exactly a data? So a data is nothing but, let's say for example, um you have something, let's say you are, let's say let's take with the same thing, like a data is nothing but a contact numbers. You have couple of contact numbers. You have let's say for example how many employees are there in your organization, and let's say for example let's say within uh, some portal, let's say for example e-commerce portal itself, how many orders that you have placed. Okay, and what is the payments that you have done, where exactly my order is getting tracked. Like let's say for example you have placed an order and you want to track your order. Okay, so without data and without database, you cannot do any of this. Like earlier, like let's go back into the era where digitalization was not there. Everything was in the paper and everything was in the word of mouth. Okay, now let's say for example when it was in paper, let's say for example uh, earlier, like if you come across contact numbers, let's say uh, contact numbers, if you have to either you may remember the contact number, either you write a contact number somewhere in your like most reachable area, like in the book or some paper. All right, but now there is no need of writing in the book or somewhere. You can directly open your mobile, feed your contact number in the contact session. So this data that you are storing, the data that you are storing in the context, it is getting stored in your database. So even the mobile that you are using has a database, and whatever you do current in the current situation, is everything stored as the data, whatever that you are doing has been stored in the database for future use. Okay, so whatever you come across, whatever we come across, comes under a data. Either it can be population, it can be anything, like even if we are doing some kind of research, analysis, anything it can be. Any kind of information, any kind of data that you want to see it for future or analyze it for future is being stored in the database. So now for storing a database, storing the data into the database, we have couple of softwares in which I can say Oracle SQL, Oracle language is the most prominent one. Okay. So Oracle is most prominent one for the database, I can say. So along with this, there are other softwares also for database. Like when you come across Oracle, for Oracle we have Oracle DB, which uses SQL and PLSQL. Along with that, Microsoft, if you come across Microsoft, they also have their own software, which is nothing but SQL Server. And IBM is also having their own database of which is nothing but DB2. So this way, like we have n number of database. Like every product, if let's say for example, if a product is successful and if it has a future, okay, then definitely there will be competitors. The same way like we have the competitors is Oracle. When it started with an Oracle is much more like I can say that it has a future of simplifying the things. So they before database, everything was in the form of papers, was in the form of like verbal itself, right? So nothing was a documented format. So now when the database came into picture, everything like you name anything is converted, is stored in the database itself. So that is the importance of database, now I can say. So within this, we will be going through Oracle uh, database as a developers. So when we are going through developers, we have to have some kind of criteria where we need to have some information, right? We need to have some knowledge to maintain the database. So if we don't maintain the database in the in the better way, what happens? There will be a data like security misuses, right? Or else, let's say for example, the exact requirement for the client we cannot achieve on time, right? So we cannot achieve the requirement. Let's say for example, let's take a business, or let's take a business scenario for now. Let's say for example, I have a business. Okay, let's say I have a business, and if it is one employee who is working in my business, I can remember his name. Now let's say for example 10 employees, I can remember. Let's say for example, my business is operating, getting functioned in 10 different countries, and in every country I have thousands of employees. It is not that easy to remember their names and contact numbers, any of his details, right? So what we can do? We can maintain a database. Okay. Whatever the employees, like in name them, like thousands of employees that we have from one country, right? Let's say for example 1,000 employee names I can store over there, and their contact numbers, and to track them easily, to recognize them easily, we can store their images also. We can store all this information in a database, right? To store the data in the database, we have to get some information how to store how to store the data, right? So let's say for example, if I have to store the information of an employee, thousand, all these 1,000 employees from one country, if I have to store their thousands of all the 1,000 employee related information, if I have to store the data in their information in my database, I need to know how to use the database, right? How to use the database, and what all the commands that I have to use, what all the commands that I have to use to store this data. What command if I use to store this employee name, if I have to store employee name, which command that I have to use, what kind of code that I have to write to store all these employee details. from one country to other country, like 10 countries that we have, right? So 10 countries information if I have to store in the database. So what kind of logics that I have to use, right? All this information will be discussed in this Oracle SQL and PLSQL sessions going further. Okay. On the high level, this is just a demo session. Nothing, even if you don't understand the concepts or if you don't understand anything, just be a little bit patient, okay? Because everything will be connected at the end of the session, okay? So here and there, we will be moving on, but still, at the end of the session, we will be getting connected at one point, okay? Okay. So now we have got to know what exactly the data and what exactly a database is all about, and what is the importance of database we have got to know, and how to use the database that we have got to know with the help of SQL scripting. Okay. So I was saying about every time SQL. What exactly this full form of SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, wherein which we will be writing couple of commands and logics to maintain the data in well structured format. Okay. To maintain the data in the database. Let's say for example, I have, let's say, name. Okay. Name, location, contact number. Just give me a minute, please. Contact number and email ID. These are the informations that I have to store in my database. Let's say for example, okay, ignore about everything whatever we discussed, okay. Let's say for example, I want to store all this information in my database. Okay. So if I have to store this information, let's say for example, I will be, if there is no column name over here, let's consider there is no column name. There is no column name. Okay. There is nothing heading. There is no heading. Leave about the column name also. Let's come blank saying that there is no heading. Saying that first I will be storing saying that Manjunath. Okay. And let's say location is India. Okay. And his contact number is something 12345 something. And email ID is something gmail.com. Okay. Now let's say for example, let me take another employee. So there is an employee called from USA. There is a particular person called Senu, and his email ID is senu@gmail.com, and his contact number is something. And there is another employee. Let's say for example, there is another employee. Just give me 1 minute. I am picking out a random name from the audience itself. Okay. There is another employee whose contact number is this, and his name is Sandesh. Okay. And he is from UK, and his contact email ID is sandesh@gmail.com. Okay. And I have another employee. Let's say for example, final one, let's take. Okay. There is another employee whose name is Lakshmi, and contact number is this one, something called this, and email ID is gmail.com, and location is Canada. Okay. Now let's say for example, I have stored my, I'm an employee in one of the organization. Let's consider I am an employee in an organization, and now my task is whoever comes as an employee in my organization, I have to store their, I have to write their details. This is how I have written their details. Okay. these, let's consider these the older version that before database. Let's say I'm an employee before 1980s. This is how I have written. Okay. Now, if I have to track, if I have to track an employee name, okay, let's say there are thousands of employees, hundreds of employees. Let's consider hundreds of employees. If I have to go through hundreds of employee details, I have to go through one record by record, right? This way I have to read through the name because there was no proper data which I have stored. So some here, if you see, I have stored name here. For another employee, I have stored name here. I have stored name here, and the email IDs are not in proper. Like first, I have written after name, I have written the location. But for the next employee record, first I have written location, and after that his name. For the employee, for third employee, I have written location somewhere in the third area, third row, I can say. Okay. And in for the fourth employee, the location is written at the last. So the data is not well arranged, and to track hundreds of employees, it will take longer time. Okay. And let's say if to track of hundreds of employees from 10 different locations, it will take minimum of 3 to 4 days for me. Now, what if I can convert this into a database? What if I can store the data in a database in a well structured format, where in which by giving a proper naming convention, saying that I have to store the information, however you store the information in the database, but while storing the data in the database, follow this particular column itself. A name should be within this particular position itself. A location needs to be within this particular position itself. A contact number should be within this particular position itself. Email ID needs to be within this particular position itself. If I am storing this information on a well structured format at a desired location itself, at a desired location itself, okay, within a desired location itself, okay. So this is how my data looks like now. Let's consider now my organization started using database. Okay. Now my organization started using database, and now while inserting the data, I started inserting the data and I started maintaining the data in my database in a well structured format. Okay. Now just compare the data, this data and this data. It looks much more simpler and looks good, right? And now if I have to track the information of my employees, I don't have to read through the entire columns. I don't Here I have to read through the entire columns, whether the name, here I can say okay, name is here. Now next, for the next record, I have to look for somewhere over here. For the third employee, I have to look over here. And if I have to look the location, I have to look somewhere this way. I have to walk through every record by record. Here I don't have to walk through record by record. I can look into the location at one particular column itself. Here I can see how many like which employees from which location, like how many locations are there. So like if there are 100 employees, I can track now hundreds of employees are coming from which location. Now from my employees are from which location, I can just look at this information. I can just analyze the data. Okay. So to store the data in my database, I can use a structured query language, SQL, and maintain my data in well structured. There is no need of scribbling, or there is like whatever the data that I store cannot be inserted into a table in unusual format. Okay. So what happens when I start using a database? The data looks much cleaner, much simpler, and I can do my task in much more faster way. Okay. So now if I have to store this information, if I have to store this information in my database, if I have to store this information in my database, if I have to digitalize this information, I don't have to write somewhere. If if your organization, let's say for example, if our organization is using a database of Oracle, I can write couple of commands like, let's say for example, one of the command for storing the database. I can store this information in my database by creating one table. With the help of SQL, I can create a table. Table name saying that employee details. Okay, I can create a table called employee details. Within this particular employee details table, I can store, I can create a column, like I can create couple of columns saying that whatever the columns that we needed, like we needed name, location, contact number, and email ID, right? So I can create a table with all these columns, all these four columns, and after creating a table, I can start inserting the data into this particular table. Okay, into this particular employee details table. Okay, so for creating a table, inserting, we will be discussing once again. Okay, later again we will be going through all the concepts whatever we discuss. As it is a demo session, I just want to go through on the high level. Okay, so this is how we will be maintaining a data in our database. So directly I cannot say to my database saying that, hey, go ahead and store the data in my database. So the employee name is this Manjunath and his location is from India, and an employee name saying that employee name is Sandesh, his location is from UK. It cannot store the data in the database directly. So if it needs to store the data in the database, as a developer, as an Oracle developer, we need to have, we need to know couple of commands to write a logic to store that particular information into the database. Okay, that that commands and the logics we will be going through this particular SQL and PLSQL training. Okay, so creating a table, we will be going through from creating a table. Okay, first we will start creating a table in a database. Then after that we will start inserting the data into the database, and we will be seeing once after inserting what happens in the database, how a data can be inserted into the database, and what type of commands that we will be writing. All that we will be discussing. Okay, so I want everyone to take a screenshot of one of this. Can everyone please take a screenshot of this? I will explain like why, what is the importance of this at the later point. Okay, either you can take a pic or take a screenshot of it. So now we have, I hope everyone have taken a screenshot or pic. Okay, see, this is most important thing, like whatever, like if you are if we have to be well versed like in SQL and PLSQL, this one screenshot will define everything. Okay, if you are perfect within this particular screenshot, every, these are the commands. Okay, we will be walking through one by one. Okay, now just understand that these are the commands that we will be walking through. Okay, at basic level. So when you are confident within these commands, that I can say that you have that capability of writing your own codes. So SQL is not that difficult. It is very simple and it is very oldest language. Okay, it is very simple language, and you can learn it at much more easy. Okay, so let's say, and even when you go to an interview, okay, if you go to an interview, these are the first questions that will be asked. Within this particular screenshot itself, first questions will be raised. That is the reason I have asked you to take a screenshot of it. Okay, at least now you can take screenshot of it. Okay, first thing first is that when you are writing couple of commands, I was saying about commands, logics, everything, right? So when you have to write a command, first you have to understand what is the purpose of that particular, what is the purpose of the command. Okay. So only when you know the purpose of that particular command, and when a client has given you kind of requirement, let's say for example, hey Manjunath, can you do this? So when they ask, let's say for example, if they ask me to store the data into a database, okay, I have to know, right? To store into a database, I have to use a command called insert, right? So that insert command comes under a language. So SQL has been divided into five different languages, okay, within which insert comes under data manipulation language. Okay, so now let's get understand about what exactly these five different languages is all about. SQL is a single language, okay, structured query language, wherein which based on its properties and the nature, okay, commands has been divided into couple of languages, okay, based on the nature and the property. Okay, so this is not that difficult. If you understand one, then you can understand the rest. Okay, so now let's say, for example, if I have to store a data in my database, first thing first is that I have to create a table in my database. So for creating a table in my database, I have to use a command called create. Okay, with the help of a create, you can create a table. Okay, for any of the data that you want to store in a database. First thing first itself, I need to have a table. So a table is nothing but a book, you can say a dictionary or anything it can be. Okay. So a folder. So let's say, for example, I have a book. Within a book, I can write something, I can store some information, right? So if we have to store some information for longer term, okay, if you have to store the data without, if you don't have a book, you have to follow some other alternative methods. Let's say for longer term, if you have to store, you have to store in a book, right? So that book is nothing but a table that we can say in the digital format in the SQL database. Okay, this table stores the entire information, whatever the things that you want to store, either employees information, business information, payments related information, what is profit and loss, what is the analysis that you have done, if you have to if you have to forecast something in future. Okay, the data needs to be there, and that data needs to be stored in a database in within a particular table itself. Okay, when there is no table, you cannot store the information directly into a database. Okay, try to understand this. So first what we will do is that we will create a table. So once after creating a table, I will be inserting the data into that particular table. Now after inserting the data, if I have to see what kind of data has been inserted into this particular table, I can use a command called select, which is nothing but a data retrieval language. If you have to retrieve something from the database, I can use a command called select. You just use select star from the table name, it will fetch. Let's go and see in the database how a database looks like. Able to see the screen? Can anyone please confirm, guys? Able to see a different screen?
Yeah, we can
So
see.
this is called as an SQL developer tool. This is an SQL developer tool where we will be writing all our logic, commands, practice, anything. Okay. Now let's say, for example, I want to see an employee details related information, employees related information. Just simply run this particular command. Just select this and you will be able to see all the employees related information. His names of the employees, salary, which department they are working, and what is his last name, from which location that he is working from, what is his employee number. Every employee has a number, right? Employee ID that we can say, and when he have joined the organization, what is his manager ID. All this information I can store within this particular table. This is nothing but a table. So first thing first, if I have to retrieve the information, like I said, if I have to retrieve something, I have to use a retrieval language, right? Data retrieval language, which is nothing but a select command. See here, I'm using a select command to retrieve the data from this particular table. So to retrieve a data from this particular table, I have to use a select command. Select star. Star denotes all the columns, whatever the columns that I have created, whatever the columns that I have used while creating this particular table, it will fetch all the columns related information, whether it has the data or it doesn't have the data. See here, if you see, there is no data for this. It will try to retrieve the information. There is no manager for this particular employee. This employee doesn't have any of the salary. He doesn't have last name also. He doesn't, there is no last date of joining also. Okay. Star denotes retrieve entire information from this particular employee details. Now, how the data has been inserted into this particular table? With the help of with the help of a command called data manipulation language, which is nothing but a command called insert. With the help of insert command, I have inserted the data into the database. I can use insert into the table name and what kind of data that I want. Now, just by creating a table, let's say for example, just by creating a table, after inserting, I have retrieved. Let's say for example, there is some mistakes that I have done. Some, let's say for example, instead of a name, let's say for example, while inserting, I have inserted a table employee name somewhere by mistake. There is something which came like this. So will this be fixed now? No, right? This will not work. If I come across like saying that, okay, my name is, so I'll go ahead and raise an issue saying that this is something saying that like this. Okay, I'll say that this is not my name. This is my name itself. There are some mistakes. So I've stored the information in the database. Now data has been stored. This employee name has been stored. Now I want to raise an issue, right? This is not my full name. If I have to make some changes, so just by creating a table, inserting a table, and if I retrieve, that is not my task, right? There will be a lot of changes that will be going through. Let's say, for example, location changes. Let's say, for example, this particular person, currently when he joined, he was from India. Now he moved to some other location. Now I want to update his location, right? So for that, if you come across in the SQL, we have another command called update, which comes again as a data manipulation language. If you want to remove, let's say for example, this particular person, let's say for example, this particular person has left the organization. Now I don't want to see this person name in my current employee list. I want to remove it. I can use a command called delete for deleting, right? So this way we can perform n number of tasks in the database, not only just creating or storing the data in the database. Okay, not only just creating the database, not just creating a table or storing the data into the database. We can perform n number of actions. Either we can go ahead and update, we can go ahead and delete, we can go ahead and rename, we can go ahead and commit, rollback. We will be discussing one after the other, everything. Okay, we will be walking through every command. Okay, just for understanding purpose, on the high level I have went through couple of commands. Okay, we will be walking through every command later point. Okay, slowly, just for understanding, I have went through couple of commands on the high level. Okay, and also this is just a demonstration, so I don't want to get in much more deeper. Okay, so let me recap once. So whatever the things that we have discussed so far, so first thing first is that first we have understood what exactly a data is, all what how exactly a data looks like, and how the data can be stored in the database. Okay, what is the importance of storing the data in the database? That is what we have seen. Let's say that is what, like, security purpose we will be storing the data, right? Let's say for example, if have I am maintaining the database. Let's say for example you have an Facebook page, or let's say for example you have some okay, no problem, let's go with Facebook or Instagram. You have, for every login, every user, every profile have their own credentials, right? Their own username and password. Okay, so just by giving a random username and random password, it will not allow us to get into that profile, right? How it is allowing us, how it is restricting us, because when we sign up, or when we create a profile, while creating the profile, whatever the username and password, whatever the credentials that we are giving, will be stored in the database. And when we try to log in to that particular profile, it will go verify, rechecks back in the database whether the username and password is getting matched or not. If it is matching, then it will allow us to get into that particular, only to that particular profile. You cannot log into some other profiles again, because the credentials that you are providing needs to match up. If it needs to match, there will not be someone waiting at the other side. Okay, whatever, whenever you provide an input, there will not be someone taking that input. They will not cross check it, and they will provide the access. It will be done automatically. If it needs to be done automatically, it needs to check the data automatically. There should be some couple of commands that we have to write, right? There should be some kind of logic that we have to write. That logics will be written with the help of Oracle SQL and PLSQL. Okay, so we will be going through within this particular course all this kind of how exactly a database can be created, and what are the commands that we will be using. Okay, how exactly the commands will be helping us, and every command, what is the purpose of it and what is the importance of it. Okay, and also we have seen, like, what are the different kinds of commands that we will be coming across, and how a data can be simplified and how a data can be stored. Okay, and on the high level, this is what exactly the SQL is all about, and there are commands that we will be coming across, and how a logics can be written. Okay, and SQL and PL/SQL is very easy language that I can say, and you can learn it at much more easy. Only thing is that a minimum effort that will be needed. Okay, so this is all about. I will not get much more in detail. Okay, in tomorrow session, we will be walking through what exactly a PL/SQL. Today we have understood how exactly a database looks like, and what exactly a database is all about, and what exactly SQL is all about. Okay, tomorrow we will be coming across what exactly a PL/SQL, and like couple of commands in SQLs. Again, today we have discussed about we have seen about couple of commands on the high level, right? Let's see other couple of commands which we will be using. Okay, and after that we will be walking through a business scenario. So how exactly a PL/SQL will be helping us. Okay, all this information we will be walking through one after the other. Okay, so if anyone has any doubts, please go ahead, guys. So this is just an high level, not in much more detail, or even if you don't understand on the first session itself, there is nothing to worry, because we will be walking through one after the other in detail. Okay, so we will be walking through in detail about every command, and so what is the importance of every command, and why we will be using, and where we will be using, and when a requirement has been given from a client, how we can go ahead and achieve that particular kind of requirements. All this we will be discussing in the going further. Like, once we complete with the demo sessions, we will be getting in detail one after the other in the practicals. Okay, so anyone has any doubts, please go ahead and ask, guys. Like, if you're comfortable, you can unmute and go ahead and speak up, or else you can ping
Yeah,
over the chat. Yep.
yeah, sir.
Yep, please go ahead.
Yeah, so this SQL will be at a developer, because I'm totally new to SQL. So just
Mm-hmm.
asking that this SQL and PLSQL will be at
Mm-hmm.
developer level or at the data engineer level?
So, see, this course is designed for from the fresher level itself, at very basic level, who are at the beginner. Okay, so there is
Uh-huh.
so even if you don't understand even a single command, we will be walking through. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
every commands from the beginner level itself we will be walking through. So nothing is considered as an experienced over here. Okay, within this particular course, and see, as an Oracle developer, okay, there is nothing called engineer levels or anything else like that. So a task will be given. Okay, when a task has been given to store some information within a data, we will be using SQL kind of thing. So let's say, for example, if a logic has been given, let's say if I have to implement kind of some couple of logics, okay, we will be using PLSQL. Okay, so based on our client requirement, like what exactly the client requirement and what kind of commands that we have to use, that will be we will be walking through and we will be understanding that. Okay, so you when you go through this SQL and PL you can work in any kind of project, whether your project is on the analysis part, you can use the commands, and
Mm-hmm.
whether it is an implementation part, if let's say for example you have to write a fresh logic for your client, you can
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and write it. Okay, so there is no specific partition saying that this course is only for the person who will be using analysis part, or the person who have to write only the logic, nothing else like that. Okay, we will be walking through every command. So we will be going through the command and why it will be used and where it will be used. Okay, so at the end of the course, you can write you will be in a capable mode that you can write your code independently. Okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
write your code independently based on the business requirement. Let's say for example, if they want to write a code for their analysis purpose, you can write it.
Okay,
let's say
yeah,
for
good.
let's say for example, they want to write it for a requirement is for developing for a report. They want to extract some information from the database. Let's say if they want to write, like say every day there is a report that needs to be shared to our clients, you can go ahead and write your logic. Okay, so it
Mm-hmm.
will be purely for a developer's perspective. So a developer can go ahead and write any kind of code. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this course is designed for a developer itself. So a developer can go ahead and write any kind of, let's say, even if it is a new requirement, you can write a fresh logic. Okay, it's a kind
Mm-hmm.
of that, I can say. Okay, and it is
Mm-hmm.
designed for from the beginner level itself. There is not this course is not uh, for the experienced one, I can say. Okay, for the
Okay.
beginner level itself, who doesn't have any of the information about what exactly a database is all about, why we will be using database, all that we will be walking through. Okay,
Okay, and do you have any material that we can read through?
so we
And
will
the
be
installment, yeah.
uh, a material kind of thing in sense.
Means any link or something that we can go through so we can get more idea. And the second question is how to install because I just saw your in your local you have installed already MySQL.
Yes, yes. This
Oh.
SQL developer. This is an SQL developer tool. We will be learning our course within this SQL developer tool itself. Okay. We
Mm-hmm.
will be. You can drop an email to our support team, like whatever the things that we have discussed at the starting, right? Support
Uh-huh.
at the rate logiclabstack.com. You can
Uh-huh.
drop an email with a batch subject saying that batch 266 SQL and PL SQL, and drop
Uh-huh.
an email to logiclabstack.com, and a support team there is a team
Uh-huh.
who can share you the installation document. You can follow the document, or else let's say after the demo session we will be guiding I will be guiding you to install within the class itself. Okay,
Okay.
we
All
will
right.
have
No.
an initial day after after first 5 days of demo sessions, right? Either you can
Mm.
follow the document, or else we will be going through at the first day of our session for installing these SQL and PLC, like SQL developer. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Yep. You can say if you have to reach out to support at the support team, please mention that it is your batch name will be 266 and it is Oracle SQL and PL SQL and email ID will be this. Okay. And you will be
Okay.
receiving installation document where you can follow that installation document. It is hardly two to three, uh, hardly 5 6 steps. That's it. It is very easy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Thank you, sir.
And also I can see that I have shared the WhatsApp group link, right? And also I can see it is already shared in the chat. You can join to this WhatsApp group, and it will be there in the YouTube also, which will be uploaded for 3 demo sessions. Okay. Any others apart from this? Anyone wants to? Please go ahead, guys.
Hi, Manjunath. This is
Yep.
Machindra.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I have two questions. First is after the training is completed,
Mhm.
can we get audio recording for these sessions?
Yes, every session that we go through, right, that will be uploaded, and you can go through that recording.
Okay, and there is any till date when we need to use it, or it's free for lifetime?
Uh, so as of now, I can say that it is free. You can use, you can track it anytime. Okay,
Okay,
but you
yes.
can get a confirmation like, is there any restriction that has been given? Okay, you can drop an email that regarding that a support team will be updating you. Okay, but as per
Okay.
my knowledge, you can not, and there is no restriction. But reconfirm it. Okay, so that you will have a clear idea.
And one more question is
Yes,
actually
go ahead.
I have that much knowledge in SQL PLSQL, but if I want to learn about more or in experience level, so
Mhm.
we have any another course by you or
No, like what? So within this particular course, I can say that this particular course is designed from beginner to the experience level. Okay,
okay.
so I have designed the course in such a way that whatever the real-time question requirements that we will be coming across from the clients and
Mm-hmm.
how to achieve them. Okay, what on all
Okay.
the concepts that we have to use when there is a specific kind of requirement. Okay, so based on this, a course has been designed. Okay,
Yeah.
so there is no different course for experience level. Okay, because when you have come across a couple of commands in SQL and PL SQL, then uh, if you are experienced for 2 years, okay, and when you have come across a couple of commands and requirements, and then that is more than enough, I can say. Okay, so only thing is that you uh, we have to use we have to get that kind of expertise in such a way in every concept, so when to use it and how to use it. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
only thing is that I when a client has given us some kind of requirement, let's say for example, one of the requirement has written saying that I want to write a logic. Okay, the logic is in such a way that if a particular employee is from a 10th department, I want to update his salary. Okay, with 30% hike. Okay, and if
Okay.
an employee's department is from 30th department, I want to update his salary with 15% salary hike. Okay, so when a requirement has been given in such a way from client, when you know a basic, uh, when you know about SQL and PL SQL, okay, then looking at the concepts and revising the concepts, you can write some logics, right? You can
Right.
write some logics.
Yes.
There is no need of again getting into an advanced level of training, I can say. Okay, but
Okay.
this training is for from the beginner level to the advanced level with all the concepts that we come across.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Manju. Yes.
Yes. Okay, anyone, like, please go ahead, guys. This is just a demo session. You can feel free to speak up. Go ahead, guys. You can ask your doubts. Anyone has any questions? Go ahead.
Hey, this is Sandeep here.
Yeah, go
In
ahead,
this
Sandeep.
section, that we are going to cover like creating user groups and their roles and permissions, and that updating the certificate level updates and all. We're going to cover on these sessions. I mean,
Oh,
how it will be
no, no, that will be at the admin level. Whatever the
admit level.
yes,
Okay.
the requirement what you are asking is for admin level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So admin will be maintaining the database, but here
Mm-hmm.
we will be going through as a developer. Okay.
As a developer,
Yes.
utilizing those resources, kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
We will be learning the concepts, and we will be writing a fresh kind of logics, how to maintain the data, analyze the data. That is what we will be going through. Okay.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank
Okay. You can get the course content. Okay.
you. Mm-hmm.
So this is not more of a this is not more of an admin level course. Okay. This is a
Oh,
developer
sure.
level of course, where you will be learning how to write a fresh piece of code and how to write logics. Okay. How to play around with an SQL database. That is what we will be learning. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Thanks.
Anyone has any doubts? Please go ahead, guys. Feel free to speak up. So that will help you guys as well as it will help. Like when you speak up, you will lose the fear of speaking. Along with that, whatever the doubt that you have, right? The other may also have the same doubt. It will get clarified along with you. Okay. For others, please speak up. I encourage you guys to speak up. As this is a demo session, there is nothing like you can speak up, ask any kind of questions. Okay, if no doubts, we can wind up the session for today. Let's catch up tomorrow on the same time. Let's catch up on the same time tomorrow with much more in detail about. Today we have come across SQL, right? Tomorrow we will be learning about PLSQL. Okay, and then thereafter we will be learning couple of business scenarios like how exactly SQL and PLSQL will be used. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Thank you,
So the
Mahendra.
installation document, you can reach out to the support team, and also you can get all the demo sessions and recording. Even this first three sessions of the demo session will be uploaded in the YouTube. You can go ahead and view over the YouTube as well. And thanks to everyone, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.